Wanted to go ahead and look at Bernie Sanders, see what he has to say about the coronavirus. Keep in mind the things that he's been pushing for: medical care for everyone, paid sick leave. These are things that would greatly help the situation. These policies would make it so that people felt like they could go in and get tested. They wouldn't have any fear of having to pay huge amounts of money after receiving treatment. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say now.
Some of the issues that I'm currently working on. First of all, it is absolutely imperative that the money that was designed to get out in the last stimulus package get out as quickly as possible. This afternoon, I'm going to be speaking to the Secretary of Labor to make sure that the unemployment checks get out to everybody who is entitled to them as quickly as we possibly can. As you know, those unemployment checks will now go to many, many people who previously were not eligible for unemployment. And on top of that, for a 4-month period, there will be an additional $600 on top of what people otherwise would have gotten. That's the good news. But the bad news is that doesn't mean much unless we get that money out to people as quickly as we can. The second area that we're working on right now is on a new stimulus package. The last package was important. It gets checks out to individuals, for kids, unemployment, small businesses, cities and states, hospitals. All of that is important. But in the new stimulus package, what we have got to do is make sure that every working family in this country is made whole, that we end the terrible anxiety that so many people are now experiencing in terms of wondering how they're going to pay their rent, how they're going to buy the food that they need, how they're going to keep their telephone bills paid and all that stuff. So what the goal right now in terms of a new stimulus package is to build on what we did for the airline workers. You may or may not know that some 750,000 airline workers in the last stimulus package will continue to receive their paychecks, whether they're furloughed or not, and many of them will be furloughed. That is a model of what we should be doing for the whole economy. So the goal here is to say that the federal government should cover the paychecks for you, even if you are at home right now. Second of all, what we have got to do, it seems to me, is that during this emergency, is the very least, make sure that everybody in this country has access to the health care that they need without any out-of-pocket expense. It is absurd that the last stimulus package will cover you in getting your coronavirus test, but it will not cover you if, God forbid, you end up in the hospital and need treatment. This is a moment when everybody has got to know that no matter what the healthcare issue that they are dealing with, they're not going to have to pay out of pocket, and that Medicare will cover out-of-pocket expenses. So those are the areas I think we've got to go forward on. Make sure that the checks get out as quickly as possible for the last stimulus package. Secondly, build a new stimulus package which goes even further in dealing with the economic and healthcare anxieties that the American people are now experiencing. Thank you all very much.
So it brings up the fact that money needs to get into the hands of the people, and what's going on with the airline industry, how the last stimulus bill allowed 750,000 people to still be getting paid, even if they are furloughed, even if they're not working, they're still getting paid. The reason why that's important is because it's stimulating the economy. It's allowing people to still go and buy groceries and gas, which is going to help those other businesses. It's allowing people to still get takeout if they want it. It's going to help those restaurants. It's kind of that idea of Keynesian economics, that we just need money flowing through the economy. If no one has any money to spend, it's going to impact other businesses, which will then lead to more layoffs. Bernie bringing up the fact of like no out-of-pocket expenses related to coronavirus. People will be afraid to go in and get tested and to seek treatment if they're going to have to go into crazy debt. There was one story that Kyle Kulinski talked about where this lady had to pay $30,000 in medical costs for the coronavirus. Literally hearing that was something to make a lot of people afraid. People aren't going to want to get treatment knowing that that is a possibility. Again, if you look at Bernie's track record, although I don't really agree with him with medical marijuana, he's always been pushing for things that were generally better for the people. He was against NAFTA. He was against repealing the Glass-Steagall Act. He's been against the Iraq War. He's been against other wars. He's been against bailing out large corporations. Bernie's always been looking out for the average person, despite the great criticism that he receives throughout the country. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe now to have more videos coming out on history and politics. Stay safe out there with the coronavirus. Thanks for watching.